The media is full of okay, these people are liars, they are con artists, and all they do is lie. They are running a coordinated smear campaign because I am effective. Donald Trump likes me. Donald Trump trusts me, okay? Obviously he trusts me if I'm on his plane, and I don't work for Donald Trump. They can't imagine the fact that the president of the United States has people in his life who he considers to be friends. Is the president of the United States not allowed to have a friend? Oh my God, is he not allowed to invite people onto his own private jet? Oh, the horror that a billionaire who owns a private jet invited somebody that he gets along with to sit on his jet.
So those comments from Laura Loomer are designed to allay concerns many people have, Republicans, prominent Republicans have, with this insane, dim-witted bigot and conspiracy theorist being one of the closest advisors to Donald Trump in the 50 days leading up to his reelection bid. I don't know if it's really gonna make a lot of people feel better. And I love the thing about being stupid, everyone, and the reason why I think we should all put more effort into not being stupid, not being ignorant, is you don't know how stupid you are. So when she says, is he not allowed to have a friend? In her mind, this is persuasive. Yeah, no, he can have friends, you dumb donkey. We would just prefer them to not be explicit racists, conspiracy theorists, people who advance some of the most disgusting ideologies of the last 100 years. He can have a friend, ideally, who's not one of those people.
A storm is tearing up the digital media industry. Only our audience can save us in these difficult times. Help us reach our goal of 100,000 new members at tyt.com/team.
But anyway, Donald Trump maybe will have to respond to that. He previously had said of her, Laura Loomer doesn't work for the capital C campaign. She's a private citizen and longtime supporter. I disagree with the statement she made, but blah, 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 blah. So I don't care about the, I disagree vaguely with the things she said. I'm not gonna say what, but really she's awesome because she gets that Kamala's the worst. So no, you don't really have a problem with her at all. She doesn't get to say the explicitly racist and homophobic and Islamophobic things she said, and you just don't even address the specific things, and then it's totally cool that she's there because she supports you. That could be your excuse for having literally anyone. David Duke could be on the plane. Harvey Weinstein could be on the plane. You could have Jeffrey Epstein's moldering corpse on there and say, well, I don't agree with what they did, but they want to make America great again. And look, he doesn't need to win me over, but there are a lot of Republicans that are concerned about this. And I don't think either of those statements from him or from Laura Loomer are gonna do that. Before we jump into our discussion, I just want to get a little bit to CNN questioning why Trump is all of a sudden hanging around with one of the dumbest and most conspiratorial people in the country.
Now, you're going to elect me and I'm going to lock him up. We're going to get Trump. Like the way they talk and their little DEI Shaniqua voices. And it's just very piercing, very irritating sound. They all have the same voice. I'm talking about Kamala Harris, Letitia James, and Fannie Willis. Like all of the meritless DEI Shaniquas talk the same way. It's very obnoxious.
Why is Donald Trump hanging around with this woman? Because he's lost the plot. He's completely lost the plot. This is repellent to the very voters he will need. There's no reason for this. She's disgusting. She's also a lunatic and a huge drag. And not the first drag, by the way. I think J.D. Vance is the first drag on his ticket. That was a bad decision. This is the next one.
The DEI Shaniquas, there is nothing to that other than racism. That is literally the only intent of it, the only effect of it. That's all that was, 100% racism. And that's who is his closest friend and ally. What do you think?
Well, which part of it doesn't vibe with Donald Trump? Which part of talking about DEI folks and then going with anybody that's a historically oppressed minority in the country, how is that different than what she said outside of her having open racism by pulling out names and saying that that's what they all are? You mean the way that they also mispronounce Kamala Harris's name? You mean that way, that it's exactly the same type of thing? This is a smear campaign, she said, on her, because everyone's repeating what she said and said, well, why would you roll with someone who's like this? And even on CNN, they keep asking this question. Jake Tapper asked it before. I can't understand why he would run around with these types of people. because he's that type of person. Why are we still sanitizing this guy's racism? Because I just said it in the last block, he calls people savages. He started his entire political career calling people rapists, murderers, and drug dealers. Yo, Laura Loomer is like him. He's not like her. That's where she came from. Nick Fuentes is like him. He's not like Nick. They come from him. There's so much I have to say. So after they're repeating these smears, as she said blatantly what it is that she's saying, they're unqualified, they don't deserve anything. What Charlie Kirk and his crew did the same thing with black pilots. Yo, if I hear Shaniqua up front, I know this plane's gonna go down. Yo, at what point are we gonna go ahead and continue to put the pieces together, which don't need to be put together because every racist that supports these folks are putting the pieces together, but they see it positively. So when people say, yo, these pieces that we're putting together that are very negative, how dare you smear me? It's actually positive for the people who support you. So there's no smears there. And she said she's effective. What part of what Laura Loomer is doing is effective? Because she's a racist. She said she's a racist, I think in some aspects. I'm just a racist that tells racist jokes. Or I'm not a racist, but I tell racist jokes. What's the purpose of that? To attract people that aren't racist? It doesn't make any sense. Now, Donald Trump's response. I don't agree with everything Laura Loomer says. I don't agree with those statements, but she rolls with me on my plane. She helps me with debate prep. She's at 9/11 memorials with me. You know who else you don't agree with? Nancy Pelosi, Kamala Harris, Tim Walz, Barack Obama, Joe Biden. Are they on your planes? Are they rolling with you? You know you don't agree with them either. Why do you have someone on your plane that you don't agree with? There's tons of people you don't agree with because you do. It's all BS. And we need to stop acting like reality, and even folks who see it, reality in front of our faces isn't what it is. Why are we still sanitizing this? When he asked that question, so which part of what Laura Loomer said do you not agree with, Donnie?
Oh, I want reporters to have the specific printouts of the specific, because you know he's gonna say, well, I didn't hear about the thing. Like specifically, here's what she said. Do you agree with that? Here's the terrible thing that she said. That's gonna turn off some of your voters. Why are you keeping her around? I would love to see that stuff. Members make a difference here at TYT. You help make the show happen, and we see you in the chat with your loyalty badge. Click the join button to become a member today.